Namaste. So my MacBook bit the dust. It's finished. The well-known video circuit problem on the MacBooks, the older MacBooks have it, where it'll work for 2 or 3 years just fine, and then one day the graphics circuitry just blows up and that's it. So it happened to me before. I'm familiar with the symptoms. Apple gave me a new motherboard, but this is the second time and now the motherboard's not available. So it's dead. So if you like these phone quality videos, you know, that's fine. But I'm not really so motivated to make videos unless I can do a really nice job. So without a MacBook, it's going to be very hard. I tried doing one with the iPad, and it was painful, you know. It was like pulling teeth, and the result still wasn't very satisfactory. So I'm going to take a break. If you guys really want some nice videos, then go on patreon.com/esoteric teaching and donate and help me get a new machine, or at least a used machine. I need 28,000 rupees, which works out to what? About $500? So anyway, if you can, please donate. And if you can't, then, well, I might make a few videos now and then, you know, about what's going on in my life or something, but I'm not going to continue these elaborate series because there's just, for me, you know, no motivation. So what to do? Anyway, at this point in my life, I think the universe is giving me a message. The computer broke. It's been my faithful tool, my workshop for now 7 years. And it finally bit the dust. So it's like a message from the universe saying, take a break, reevaluate your options, you know, check out some different places. So I'm going to go back up in the mountains and do a retreat for a while. I don't know how long. We'll see how I feel about it. So anyway, I'm going to leave in a couple of days to visit my astrologer. And then from there, I'm going to go up to the Himalayas and just camp out somewhere in the hills. Already got my warm clothes out and washed and ready to pack. So leaving really soon. And another piece of interesting news, very good news, is that I got a major blessing from Arunachala. Arunachala now is acting for all practical purposes as my guru. So he is teaching me, taking care of me in so many ways. It's hard to describe to anyone who hasn't been here, but if you have and you've tasted it, and you know what I'm talking about. Arunachala is not just a pile of rocks. He's a hill, but he's quite sentient and very personally, directly involved with his devotees. So anyway, he gave me a big blessing. A huge blessing. I mean, I asked for it, but he showed me the key to stopping the mind. So last night I was working with this pretty much all night. And when you stop the mind, of course, the ego goes away. The constant chattering and discourse of the mind goes away, becomes silent. And more than that, as Ramana Maharshi puts it, the whole phenomenal world disappears. And I would like to say even more than that, time stops. So when time stops, the whole manifestation just grinds to a halt. And the fountain of consciousness, Brahman, the source, the origin of everything, comes up and it dissolves whatever is left of the mind, that last thought. It almost doesn't matter what that last thought is. But when the mind stops, it's like the roulette wheel. They turn the roulette wheel and it goes around, a wheel of fortune. Click, 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 ka-chunk. And that last thought, I'll take world affairs for 500, Alex, That's the last frame of a movie. You have a movie going through a projector, and then it slows down, and finally it stops. Maybe you've seen this. The projector's lamp is very hot. So if the film stops moving, if the motor breaks or something like that, and the projector lamp is still on, eventually it will melt the film. And the film can catch fire. It's actually very dangerous. It burns down theaters all the time. Or at least it used to. Now they're all digital. But anyway, you maybe have seen it, where they'll show like the film jerking and slowing down and coming to a stop. And then a hole will melt in the film and it'll gradually spread out until there's nothing but white light. That's exactly what it's like. And of course, from there, then you're in Brahman. And we've already talked about that. But the interesting thing is that, of course, this has happened to me before. But I didn't actually realize exactly what it was that was happening, that it was the mind coming to a halt, a halting condition. So when this happens, then it's like you don't see any phenomena anymore, because phenomena happen in time. Without time, there's no motion. Without motion, nothing happens. So there's no phenomena. It's very interesting. And what I want to say about it is, to me, this is the key to the final highest state of yoga, the final nirvana of Buddhahood, or whatever you want to call it, the last stage of becoming a real yogi. And after that, one is a jivan mukta and can do whatever he likes. So I'm feeling like, well, I've been struggling along here, trying to make videos and help people out. But really, I don't know how many people have actually been benefited by it. Because these days there are very few qualified disciples. Most people just don't have the ability to learn independently, study by themselves. And also we see that there's very little exchange, very few people making comments. And without an exchange, without a conversation, without a back and forth discussion with a spiritual teacher, you can never be sure if you've understood him correctly. Well, this is a problem, that people don't interact. So they can never really be certain if they understood what the intention was, what the meaning was. You see? So because of this, I think this video medium is actually very limited. Maybe it's good for promotion. Hey, we got some yoga lessons here. Come on down, get your meditation. But for actually giving detailed information that people can act on and perfect their lives, I think it has really limited use, really limited applicability. So I'm becoming less and less enthusiastic about the online video medium, and I'll be looking to put together some real-time stuff here where I'm staying. So you probably won't see too many videos after this. I mean, unless everybody really gets together and shows me they want and value these videos. But from the response from what I've seen so far, I don't think it's going to happen. Prove that I'm wrong, all right? I dare you. Double dare you. Honestly. The problem today is not that there's a lack of spiritual teachers. Actually, there's an oversupply of spiritual teachers. And, of course, not all of them are on the highest platform, but still, there are plenty of spiritual teachers. The problem today is the lack of authentic disciples. I mean, authentic discipleship is so powerful that even if the master is not enlightened, that a good disciple can become enlightened. The role of the master is the important thing. The relationship of the disciple to the master is the thing. Because the master becomes like the figurehead or the symbol for the real guru, which is only Brahman. So the real guru is within. Real guru is in the heart. Real guru is the self. And the physical manifestation of the guru is a realized soul who simply speaks for the self and says what the self would say. It's like a mouthpiece for the self, a mediator or an advocate. And so he speaks what the self would speak to the student and helps the student understand the teaching. Now, once the teaching has been understood, that's good, but it's less than half of the way there. Then the student has to practice. And of course, like any practical thing, there are many pitfalls, many kinds of errors that can happen, mistakes that can be made. And so the advice of the teacher during the practice phase is important too, until the student reaches really almost the end of the path. Then he can make contact with the inner guru directly. And of course, every teacher wants to see this happen. But we've been very disappointed by the students who have come forward over the years. And they have not really applied themselves. They have not really committed themselves. They have not really, given or contributed value to the mission. Instead, they've been content to simply take, and not really give anything. So without this reciprocation, without this exchange, it's very, very difficult for a teacher or a master to continue to entertain students, you see. So in this case, we have been putting up these videos, more than 300 videos on this channel now. And they span the whole range of the path, from the very beginning stirrings of doubts about ordinary society, ordinary life, and the world, and so on, all the way up to the highest levels of nirvana, nibbana, advaita, the yoga system, everything, right? There's so many playlists on this channel. Has anybody really gone through them all in the proper order? I don't know. I don't hear from people, so I don't know what they're doing, you know. If I don't hear from them, I have to assume they're getting it wrong because I have no evidence that they're getting it right, no feedback. In the absence of feedback, people normally assume the worst, and so that's pretty much the way I think about it. So anyway, I'm out of time. Been nice talking with you. See you later.